Hello, hello, everyone. Welcome to those who haven't been here before. Welcome back to those who have watched before. Thanks for coming again. My name is Aaliyah Langley, here for a quick chat, basically to tell you that I went to this awesome sale of $2 books, all the books for $2. This bookstore, which is sad, it was closing, a Barnes & Noble on a university's campus. They're downsizing to basically going to just basically be like a clothing store and stuff like that and have a few books. So they were selling all their books, and there were a lot of people there. A lot of people were hearing about these $2 books, and I was one of them with my sister, and I grabbed several books. And I wanted to basically just kind of quickly show the books that I grabbed. I grabbed 16 in total, one dictionary / thesaurus, which we will go over first, I guess. The Merriam-Webster dictionary, that's the thesaurus here. I don't know why I wanted to get this. I've thought about getting another like dictionary. I have like a small-ish one that I've had for a while. But I said I kind of want to have another one. Obviously, I can get all this information online, but something about kind of having like a physical one. And I even had times where I thought I wanted to kind of like go through a dictionary a little bit and like look up words and like just kind of I don't know make sure I know like a lot of these words. I feel like my vocabulary is pretty good, but I always I can keep it on my desk even though I have obviously access to it online, but why not grab one, have one in the wheelhouse? So this is not the first book I grabbed, but the first book we're going to go over today. Next up, we have Prey, Immigration, Islam, and the Erosion of Women's Rights by Ayaan Hirsi Ali. This book I hadn't heard of it before. I hadn't heard of the author before. I should say the service wasn't really great in there, so I couldn't really look up a lot of these books to see like what their ratings were, like things like that. But this one I saw and it stuck out to me right away, and I said this book looks like a book that I probably would enjoy. So I grabbed it and I'm excited to read this one. Next up, we have a memoir from Diane Keaton. It's called Brother and Sister. I am a casual Diane Keaton fan, but I feel like she's had such a life, such a career. A memoir from her would be interesting. I haven't really heard much anything about this book, so I'm interested to see kind of what she says in here. Memoirs can always sometimes surprise you, and I'm interested to see like brother, sister, like what is the title about? Obviously brother and sister, but is it her brother, her sister, or is it like her brother and herself as a sister? Like all kind of things. Again, just Diane Keaton, I feel like has had such a legendary career in life. So grab this one. I wasn't sure if I was going to, but I figured, why not? Next one we have the sticker on there. We can take it off, or I guess halfway take it off. Yeah, take it off. It's called Day, a novel by Michael Cunningham. Again, this is one of those ones that I wasn't able to look up. I saw he won a Pulitzer for The Hours, and I immediately was thinking, is it The Hours, like the movie that Nicole Kidman got her Oscar on, or like Hours something else? I'm not sure. But I like novels. I see he's won a Pulitzer. I said, why not just pick it up and read it? I'm interested to see how this one goes. Next one is Deaths of Despair and the Future of Capitalism by Anne Case and Agnes Deaton. This is a book. I've been reading a lot more books about capitalism and how capitalism sucks. And I saw this title and I saw this book and I thought this would be interesting, one I probably would want to read anyway, so grab this one. Next up, one I was kind of on the fence about is The King, The Life of Charles III by Christopher Anderson. Again, this is one I was trying to look up to see like what are the ratings, things like that. I saw that it was rated somewhat well. I don't know. I feel like I've learned a lot about Charles. I've read things on him, not a full book. I'm reading a book right now on his mother, the great Queen Elizabeth II. And I figured, why not just grab the book and read it? And I see it's rated okay. It's not long. I probably can get through this like in a day or two. And I just, check it out, see what they say, what the angle is here. So I grabbed this one about King Charles III, the new King of England. Next is a book I've read already. I read this book I believe in 2022. It's called Upgrade by Blake Crouch. This is a sci-fi book. I didn't like this book all that much. I remember when I saw it, I just grabbed it. I was like, oh, I read it before. And I remembered I didn't like it tons. I feel like I gave maybe 3 out of 5 or something like that when I read it. But I figured, it was okay. I mean, okay enough. Let me just pick it up and grab it. I've read it before when I was sitting there kind of lonely. So I said, let me just grab it. Upgrade by Blake Crouch. Next up, we have kind of weird-ish. The January 6th Report by the January 6th House Committee. This book is obviously I can get this whole report online, but sometimes I like to kind of read reports from like, the House or from, like special groups that put it. Like I read the 9/11 Commission I read it like late last year. I've read a couple other kind of like reports kind of similar to this, so I just grabbed it. I figured, Will I actually read the whole thing? I'm not sure. Possibly. I just don't know like when it will be, at what point, because I feel like it's just a lot to probably go through. But actually, it's not as long as you think, because like a lot of it is like the citations in the back are. Actually, no, that's more than citations. But anyways, the point is, grab this one, and I figured at some point I'll get to it, but why not just have it in the wheelhouse, in the library. Next, I have The Woman in the Window by A.J. Finn. This is a book I read in 2020 or 2019. I don't remember. I think I saw the movie as well. There's a movie with Amy Adams on it. I don't really remember. I think I saw the movie because I remember Amy Adams being in it to a level, but I know I read the book. I don't know if I read the book before or after I saw the movie, but grab this one. I have a couple books that I've read already that I grabbed, and this was one of them. Good little kind of sci-fi book, kind of thriller. Gillian Flynn, she didn't write it, but a little thing on here. Astounding, thrilling, amazing. This is a pretty good book. I remember reading this in. It was pretty good. A book I've read again already is A Simple Favor by Darcy Bell. This is also a movie with Blake Lively here and Anna Kendrick. Really good movie. Really, really great movie. Great outfits in this movie. The book is pretty good as well. I recommend this book and this movie. So I grabbed this right away and I was like, oh yes, this was a fun book to read. I read this in 2019, excuse me. Good book. Motherless Brooklyn by Jonathan Lethem. Yeah, Lethem I haven't read this book, but I watched this movie and I like this movie a lot. It's with Edward Norton here. I said, let me grab this book because I like this movie a lot. I never read the book. Let me see what it's about. Picked up and grabbed it. I'm looking forward to checking out that one. The Year of Yes by Shonda Rhimes. My sister has this book and had me read it a couple years ago. I liked it so much. I want to read it again. I want to have my own copy, but I never got the chance to, or just never did. And I saw this and I grabbed it right away. I said, oh gosh, this is my book, The Year of Yes. This is an excellent book. Excellent. Like I said, I want to read it again. So I really would recommend you reading this if you haven't already. Shonda Rhimes, the great TV writer, movie writer, screenwriter. She's excellent. One of my faves. Great book there. We have The Sinner by Petra Hamasfar. I have not read this book, but I started watching the series a couple years ago. I watched the first 2 or 3 series. At some point, I think this book's probably based off like the first series, and they kind of basically moved on from there. But the series was excellent, so I said, let me pick up this book because I'm sure, obviously, if the TV show is really good, they have to get the idea from somewhere. So let me grab this book. Looking forward to checking that one out. 3 more here. First of the 3 is Bob Woodward's Fear, Trump in the White House. Trump in the White House. This is a book, when this first came out, my mom had it on Apple Books, and I started reading it. I never finished it. Sometimes I used to do that. I'm trying to do better, but I figured let me pick it up and might want to just read it again. Obviously, he's the legendary journalist. Let me just pick it up, have it in the house. Like another kind of political type text. That one, we'll get back to that one. And these last 2 are 2 Elizabeth George books. So this first one, Something to Hide, my sister picked it up, and I said, do you know this author? Like, what is this about? And she said something about knowing the author or something. I don't remember fully, but she said that she'd heard of this book or something. So I said, let me just get one as well. Then also next to it, there was this other book, The Punishment She Deserves. So I said, well, if you've heard good things about this one, I hope this one's good too. Let's just grab both of them. So I got both of them, 2 Elizabeth George books to wrap out my 16. So yeah, that was my 16. I spent a lot of time there. Actually, it was like 2 hours in the hole. I was out in line for an hour outside. I got there right on time, but we were in line for an hour. And then inside, we could check out books for like 20-some minutes or so, and then we were in line for like 45 minutes. So it was a long, long day, but it was definitely worth it to grab some new books to kind of put in my shelves. I really don't have any much more space for books, but we're going to figure it out somewhere. These new 16 books I have to shove somewhere in my home. So just wanted to quickly show you those. Again, always, as usual, recommend books to me. I will read just about anything you see kind of from the books I showed you here. This kind of a hodgepodge of text. You might see some of them in the next couple months here as I go over like my monthly book chats. But yeah, send me recommendations of books you like. Have you read any of these books? Do you have any recommendations for me in these books? Which one should I maybe read first? All that kind of stuff, let me know in the comments below. I will see you guys in my next video. Thanks as always for watching. I really appreciate it. And bye. Have a great one.